This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a huge thanks goes out to our boss-level patrons, Christopher and Patrick. All right, dudes, we've got to get some more wood if we're going to finish building this cabin.
Okay, I have 50 wood. How much do we actually need?
Like 500.
Wait, really?
At least 500.
Hey, I think my character's tired, though. I think we should sleep really quick.
Oh yeah, my guy needs to sleep too.
Guys, I think we should actually just go to bed.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
No. I mean like in real life. It's 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's okay. We're sleeping right now.
Yeah, in the game. I'm talking about real life. Like, I think we need to go to sleep.
What we need is to get some more wood.
Yeah, we need at least 500.
Fine, but I'm going to need a better axe.
You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
This is Trent.
And we slept last night. I promise.
A little.
Enough.
A little. Not a lot.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news.
All right. Our news this week is brought to us, as always, by Crave Cookies. Crave!
No, I put it in
Crave!
post. You don't say it.
You don't say Crave. I say Crave. I tell you when you say Crave. Crave!
Okay, no,
Chip
just
Craven.
real quick. One of my happiest, one of my happiest moments, I was with some people, and I brought some Crave cookies, and someone said, Crave! The way you say it, the way I put it in post, and I was like, yes, I want everyone who listens to hear
my God,
JD say that whenever they think of Crave.
Never felt more honored. Guys, Crave Cookies, you can check them out on cravecookies.com, and this week you've got to at least go on the website, even if you're on a diet, and this is just like food porn. The Biscoff Explosion, you guys, we talked about this. It's a cookie butter dough with crushed Biscoff cookies, and then it's filled with cookie butter.
So much cookie butter.
It's the cookiest cookie that ever cookied. Check them out. They're on DoorDash, delivery, the works. Okay, and speaking of Crave Cookies, the man of the hour, Trent, you guys might have heard, might not have, that BlizzCon happened.
It was Blizzconline. You gotta call it by the right name.
BlizzConline happened.
I thought it was in November. I guess I was wrong. I guess it's in late February now. I don't know anything.
Dude,
Nothing's
I didn't
real
even
anymore.
know it was happening until it was actually happening. I was like, wait, that's right now? I
Yeah.
feel like I didn't get marketed to at all on this, which is bizarre.
Oh, there was like no lead up to it. I didn't see leaks about anything until like the day before.
There's nothing to leak.
Yeah.
That
What
too.
would you leak? Who cares?
There are no
So-
new games coming out.
Yeah, honestly, I think the biggest news. So Diablo 2. This is they're remastering Diablo 2 if I'm not mistaken, correct?
But Blizzard refuses to ever call something a remaster or a remake. So it's Diablo 2 Resurrected. That's their remake.
Resurrected. Got it.
But yeah, I was pretty stoked about this one. I started getting into gaming really heavily after Diablo 2 was kind of a big thing, so I was a little bit late to that game. So I never really got to play it the first time around. But yeah, they're doing a complete graphical overhaul to it. So it's really cool, actually. If you look at the graphics from the gameplay, it kind of still looks aged. Like you can tell it's not a new game, but it uses modern textures and stuff. One of the cool things I was reading about it, though, is because the graphics were so old, some of the buildings and some of the textures in the game, they didn't really have like a real idea of where to go with it, to how to make it look modern but still fit the theme of the game. And they actually found these old notebooks from Blizzard North, the company that made, or the division that made Diablo 2 originally.
Oh my god.
And it had like reference drawings talking about what architecture was the inspiration for the buildings in Diablo, so they could use that as inspiration for the upgraded textures and stuff. So that was pretty cool to hear about. The other thing that's cool about it is it's got cross-platform progression, which we haven't really seen in many games at all yet. So you can play on the Switch, save your character, go play on your PC, but it's not cross-platform playable. I learned. I misunderstood that at first. So.
Yet. Did you see the tease?
I saw the yet. So whatever that means in Blizzard language, if that's like
it's coming.
soon
it's
after
coming.
release, yeah. But then it's
1 day.
8-player co-op.
No, dude, I have this dream of playing Blizzard 2 Blizzard 2, oh my god. Diablo 2 on the couch with Jenna on the Switch and the PlayStation 4. Just couch co-oping Diablo 2 with all the remaster. Oh my gosh, I think it'd be so
great.
Sick.
It'd be so fun. The only thing I'm not sure about is if you have to own it on... are they going to make you buy it on every platform if you want to do that? So am I going to have to own the Switch one and on the PC one if I want to save my character and move over? I guess so.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would, if I was a gambling man, which I am. Yes.
They're going to go for the thing that's more money for them.
Yeah.
Was there any new news on Diablo 4?
Diablo 4, they announced a new class. They announced the Rogue class, which is like a kind of like a thief archer hybrid. So you got knives and a bow and arrow and stuff. And they showed a bit of gameplay for it. Here's my thing. Diablo 4 does not look like a game from 2021 at all. It looks graphically like marginally, like very slightly improved from Diablo 3, if even that. And so for a game that's coming out in 2023, maybe, like they showed a really small amount of gameplay footage like a year ago, and I was hoping that was just like alpha, crappy textures, we just haven't put much work into it yet. And then they showed the gameplay at BlizzCon, and it was the exact same. Like it's shocking how not modern it looks, especially compared to, they showed a little bit of Diablo Immortal. I don't know if everyone remembers the Don't You Guys Have Phones mobile game, but the gameplay from that,
like years ago.
Yeah. And the gameplay from that looks actually, to me, a little bit better than Diablo 4 even. So, I don't know. Hopefully this is just like super early stages.
That is a scathing indictment of Diablo 4.
That is the most mind-boggling shit to me. That Diablo Immortal is A, not out yet.
Yeah.
And B, still somehow overshadowing Diablo 4 at BlizzCon.
Well, not even not out
later.
yet. Still not even like a release date window. It's still just coming soon for a game they announced, however, like 3 years ago.
A mobile game.
Yeah, a mobile game that they didn't even make. As far as I understood, it was like a reskin of a Chinese mobile game. So,
yes, dude.
Yeah,
this seems like they're taking too long on it. I feel like the hype has come. We were mad about it. Now it's passed, and no one cares anymore.
Yep,
that's how it feels.
Yep, we're over it. We don't even care anymore. Beyond that, Trent, I think there was some Shadowlands or World of Warcraft. I saw that they're releasing the second. What is that? The second expansion of Warcraft Classic.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, this one kills me. I'm just waiting for them to really release the entire game and just have it like on a 10-year delay, so they can release everything twice. But yeah, they're releasing the Burning Crusade, which was the first Warcraft expansion, Burning Crusade Classic. So now, if you've been playing WoW Classic, you have the option when they release this to copy your character and have one stay on the WoW Classic realms and one start progressing through the second expansion. Same rules as the first one, nothing changed, classic experience with like upgraded textures, but apparently they're just going to keep doing this. So I would expect another 3 or 4 years from now, you're going to see Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and Blizzard will just stop making new games and just remake everything. So
just remake.
So excited.
They stopped doing that like 5-6 years ago. That's like their thing. is they just milk their IPs until they are like completely bone dry, and then they milk them a little bit more, and then re-release them, and then milk those re-releases.
Well, and the great thing about it is the whole point of doing this WoW Classic is to have like the classic leveling MMO experience where it just takes a ton of time. You have to sink into your character. You have to be committed to it. You have to find groups of people to play with. But with the Burning Crusade Classic, they're actually letting you buy a character boost. So you can start at the end of WoW Classic and just level 10 levels. So it's already like backpedaling on what their original goal was. But I don't know. So it's like, it's exciting. It was a fun time in WoW, but it's definitely just milking the franchise for everything they can at this point.
Speaking of which, there was some news on Overwatch 2, which I didn't... Anything there worthy of noting, or is it just more like, oh, there's going to be characters and maps and action?
I think it was more just like there's going to be Overwatch 2. And nothing else.
Yeah.
Like nothing really noteworthy from that. Hearthstone's getting an expansion. That's another game that's getting something, but they have like 12 a year.
None
so I
of
don't know
these seem exciting though. Like none of this, I think, is worth throwing a convention for, even if it's just an online convention, right?
Yeah, it was the perfect year for them to not be able to have a real BlizzCon for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
They were really stoked with how underwhelming it was. They're like, "Oh, perfect! This is great. This is fitting. Low expectations matched and met. Way to go, guys." Okay, if there's nothing more on that, we'll move on. I have a couple of funny things that are just quick. This one was on GameIndustry.biz. Apparently, the Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury launch on the Nintendo Switch. So the original Super Mario 3D World came out on the Wii U, correct? And the re-release is Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, which is like an add-on or like a mini game, not a mini game, but like essentially like a new campaign in the game. And they released it on the Switch. And it was almost 3 times the sales in the UK. This is specific to UK charts. I just think it's kind of funny and representative of how badly the Wii U underperformed and how huge the Switch is that you can sell an old Wii U game on the Switch and it's going to triple sales that it did on the Wii U because no one had it.
It's not even testament to the game itself, because how many more people own a Switch versus a Wii U? Like
exactly, like
it's so ridiculous.
It is so. The Switch is such a crazy console. It's like, I don't know. It's like if the Dreamcast had come out like super hard, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, why? I can't believe they screwed up so bad with the Saturn because this is amazing." Now I made myself sad.
That just kills me that. That Nintendo, I mean, all they have to do to make money at this point is just release their old games and they don't even need to necessarily redo them if they're from the Wii U because the graphics are the same.
Oh, we've got another one of those coming later on too.
Do we?
Yeah. That's Nintendo's new MO too. That's every company's just going to keep doing that now. Not even remastering them, just re-releasing them.
Dude, here's the thing. I've read this about people that suffer from anxiety is they prefer to rewatch series over and over again versus starting new series or watching new films because they know how they end. There's no anticipation. There's nothing to give you additional anxiety.
Dude,
that's what's going on here. We are collectively, as like a culture, now suffering from like this collective anxiety about just fucking everything. And we're like, you know when things made sense? When we were kids. Or like when we were a little bit younger, and
so let's just bring all of that stuff back.
So let's go back to 3D Doritos, back when I didn't have to fucking pay taxes on my house. It was a good time. Okay, this next thing that's crazy. Apple. I'll just go through this quickly because Apple, is going through this legal battle with Epic Games over the Fortnite thing where Fortnite tried to get off the Apple App Store and do purchases outside of Apple's ecosystem, which takes a 30% cut. Apple was not into that. And removed all of Epic's shit from the games from their app store, which Epic was like, you can't do that, and so they're like, oh, our bad, and put some things back. But overall, it's just been this ongoing fight. I don't think Fortnite is available on Apple devices still, if I'm not mistaken. And so Apple, I mean, this is an attorney thing. I wouldn't say this is exclusive to Apple, but good Lord, the cojones on these guys. Apple decided just in the meantime, just on the side, they were going to subpoena Valve. They're just not really any part of this at all, but they're subpoenaing Valve under the basic argument that certain Steam information would be crucial to building its case against Epic, which is all about competitive practices. So they're like, I don't know. This is like when a bully goes over to your house at night and like bullies you directly in front of your parents to like give you your your homework, and you're like, are you serious? My fucking parents are right there. Are you this psychotic? You thought this would work? And he's like, listen, asshole, I'll kick the shit out of you at school tomorrow. What are you doing? You just come to Valve and you're like, give us all your homework, bastards. Tell us all your business secrets. They're asking about like fucking sales. They're asking about all sorts of things that just like unbelievable things that of course fall under like professional or business privilege. Like, I don't know. I just think.
Yeah, this is wow. This is
they're
I don't
asking
even
for
know how to,
okay, let's see.
I don't know
Total
how to wrap
yearly
my head
sales of
around this.
apps and in-app products, annual advertising revenues from Steam, annual sales of external products attributable to Steam, annual revenues from Steam, and annual earnings, whether gross or net. We're not, it's okay.
Just pick one.
Just
We
pick
need
one.
numbers.
That's okay. Dude, are you insane? Basically, you could just use this. Like, this would do nothing but just benefit Apple's. Like, you guys are going to keep all this discovery inside the lawsuit, and you're not just going to like pass it along to your team and at the App Store team. Are you insane? Oh my God, I can't believe this.
This is wild. I just love that they're roping someone else into this for no reason other than they're trying to
it's Megacorp
do some
fights.
benchmarking.
Guys, I'm just going to throw this out here. Any company over $20 million, broken up. It's fucking gone, broken up. You're too big. $20 million seems like enough.
That's some small companies.
Yep, that's it. That's as big as you're allowed.
You can
to
have
get
like 100 employees. That's it.
Yep. Any bigger than that, apparently, you just lose all sense and reason, and you just become mindless like greed monsters. It's crazy. 20 million. That's the limit. JD's new Marxian approach to capitalism. I don't know.
I just like their argument is because it will help us. Why do you want this? Because we want it.
We want it.
But why? This has nothing to do with us.
You're asking too many questions. You just want it.
What? Well, the judge is gonna tell you to give it to us, and the judge
Mom's
is like,
gonna tell you to give it to me. Then
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Are you crazy? Okay. Next up, this is pretty cool. Dinosaur Planet. You guys don't remember
this is
Dinosaur
all you.
This
Planet?
one's
I don't
my
know what
favorite.
this is.
I love this
because Dinosaur Planet never came out.
I mean, it did.
You guys,
it came out. It just wasn't called Dinosaur Planet.
It was called Star Fox Adventures, and it came out. So Dinosaur Planet was this game that they were working on right at the end of the life cycle for the N64, and a Nintendo producer convinced them to button it up, move it over, and finish development for the GameCube to have it be closer to a launch title for the GameCube. But it would also be a Star Fox game now. It's not a dinosaur game. Just make it a Star Fox like RPG. It's fine.
Because that makes sense anyway. Star Fox isn't a...
Fine.
Yeah.
Star Fox, dinosaurs, same thing.
But here's the thing, dude. This is the thing that's so cool about it. Like, I don't care that I have no personal investment. I didn't have an N64. I just think the future is so amazing that the internet has allowed these things to happen. The folks that released it, you can just download it. There's this zip file on Twitter Just like that. Here's the game. It won't run. This is from the Twitter feed. It won't run 100% perfectly on any emulator. Expect many graphical issues with shadows and lighting and slowdown. It should, however, work perfectly fine with flash carts. This is the part that blew my mind. We purchased this disc containing the build from a private game collector in Sweden. The file data lists the build as being from December 1st, 2000. It seems to be quite a late build of the game, which is great, but it will need some hacking to be fully playable to the end. And you click on this, it's an old Memorex burnable CDR, like remember with the glass that's like exploding. Like it just took me all the way back to like the early 2000s when I had a stack of these by my computer, and like some dude in Sweden just bought one of these, or it just had this. I'm sorry, that this build of this game that I'm sure some developer brought home or had on him, and then it bounced around, and now it's here, and then it's just on Twitter, and you can just download it now.
Well, and someone's going to patch it, so someone's going to finish it too.
It'll get fixed. Yeah. It'll be fixed by the end of the week. It'll be playable, and by the end of next week, you'll be able to buy it from some dude in Canada that'll burn it on an N64 cart and mail it to you by March, because the future is so crazy. Oh my God, guys, this is just so neat. Games that like people were that existed only in like of the minds of a handful of gamers that read about it in Nintendo Power one time, and they're like, dinosaur, what was that? It was a Dinosaur Planet? Yeah, I think Rare was working on a game about dinosaurs.
Somebody's busting out all of their. They're like, wait, what year was this? N64. They're busting out their collection of Game Informer magazines or whatever, and looking it up, going, wait a second, here I found it, and they're doing that. Know someone's doing that. If it's not you, JD.
It might be me.
Dude, I just found the Nintendo Power page that talks about Dinosaur Planet.
Oh my God.
And you could find that in 30 seconds on the internet, because the future is crazy.
Dude, there was an actual official player's guide made. Okay, now I'm done, but that's a rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Down there later.
No, yeah, game preservationists and game preservationism is an insane rabbit hole. I only recommend if you have a lot of time. But these people that are like, again, they find up this game collector in Sweden that has this. Like, where did he get it? It's so crazy. Okay, so this next thing, this is Stadia Watch. This is just more inside reporting from Kotaku on more stuff that has gone down in the past. You guys remember Stadia, Google's foray into a cloud gaming service that was going to be bolstered by an in-house studio. Well, Google Game Studios or something, but it was like SG&E, and it sounded like a real estate broker,
like
some
a hedge
shit.
fund.
Yeah, exactly. Some crap that like you don't want anywhere near video games. So they closed their independent game studio after only a year and change, which any of you know is not enough time to make literally any video game in the whole wide universe. So they really didn't give them a lot of chance. I just want to read this from the article, this passage, because it was so mind-blowing. The headline for this article: Stadia leadership praised development studios for, quote, great progress just 1 week before laying them all off.
Classic.
So they got an email with accolades about how great they were doing and how great the future of SG&E looked, patting them on the back, and then a week later they were all laid off. This was not like a laid down, like, oh, let's just, lay off a couple people. This was like the studio was closed. Everyone was fired. Here's the passage I wanted to read. Quote, developers had to wait 3 days after receiving the news to directly share their confusion and frustration with Harrison. This is Phil Harrison, the head of the Google Stadia, in a second conference call on February 4th. This call was followed by a contentious Q&A where the Stadia boss was confronted about his email from just the week before, which suggested anything but a wholesale shutdown of the studios. Harrison expressed his regret over the misleading statements made in his previous email, according to 4 sources with knowledge of the call. When asked what changed from the week prior, Harrison admitted nothing had and told those on the call, "We knew." I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Again. We knew. This motherfucker honest to God, knew they were closing the studio a week before they did it, and still gave the green light on an email, patting everyone on the back.
Dude, here's why. Because there were rumors that there was going to be layoffs. He wanted to quash those rumors, so he wanted to quash the rumors so he could do it himself. He didn't want them to be. He didn't want the rumor mill to work its magic. He wanted to be the one to give him the news, because that is the only thing that gets him going these days.
I want to be the one to fire everybody. They can't hear about it from someone else.
Guys, don't worry. You guys are doing great. Thank you so much for all of your progress. You guys are killing it. Thank you. 1 week later, we're closing down shop. You're all out of here. Pack your stuff and go.
It's so insane. Here's the idea: is that if you guys remember, the people that they brought on board to Stadia were all industry all-stars. That's the Google way to do it. Is you have a bunch of big names. Well, it's the Silicon Valley way to do it. Big names that you can, hang your arm on at a cocktail party and say, "Look, this is so and so from such and such, and isn't he great with our company?" But then you never listen to him or take him seriously. But
no,
you recruited 150 of the industry's best and brightest. They all had a reasonable assumption that they would have at least multi-year assurances that the game studio would remain open, because obviously it takes a minute to get a game published. Even like if they weren't developing the game themselves, like finding indie studios and being able to publish them, like the way that Team 17 does, maybe that takes time. Building those relationships, finding those people, sourcing them, getting them published on your platform. That all takes time, and they didn't even give them that much time. So it's just like, I don't know. And the other thing from this article that I picked out that blew me away was that their headcount was frozen in 2020. Stadia was not allowed to hire anybody in 2020. 2020, the year that it was just gangbusters for all video games. All video games worth a damn, that is. Like, everyone was making money hand over fist because everyone was home doing nothing but playing video games. And in that time, the Google, which is also making hand over fist off of this pandemic, Google's making buco bucks. They are like, no, you guys can't hire anyone because reasons.
We know.
So basically, no game developer worth their salt. Nobody is ever going to work at Google again. Like, they have burned so much goodwill with this. It is shocking.
Well, no, all they're going to do, though, is what they did to, because I was reading another story that is parallel to this, what they did to, I think they're called Typhoon Studios or Typhon Studios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the indie studio they
Journey to the
on.
Savage Planet. So they bought them, they acquired them, their team, and then debuted on the it's already been out, but it's on Stadia. It just barely made its Stadia debut, Journey to the Savage Planet, and then they let all those people go too. So this indie studio, they're like, we're doing it, guys. There's like less than 30 people, right? We're doing it. We made this game. We're so proud of ourselves. And then Google buys them, lets them all go, and now the game is garbage on Stadia because there's no one to patch it. It has like a ton of bugs, and no one can fix it because they're all gone.
I don't know. Folks, I know it seems crazy, but in 2021, if you get an offer to work at Google, consider it carefully. Consider it very closely, because the other thing is they're like, oh, we're trying to hire these people. We're trying to hire these people elsewhere in the company, but it's like, game developers are game developers. It's not like they can go work in PR or that they'd want to. They're specialists.
You want to go work on the Chrome team? You're like, no.
Shoot me in the head. Yeah, you can work on the Dinosaur game in Chrome, the only game that Google's ever actually shipped successfully.
The offline.
The little games that show up like right above the search bar on holidays? You can develop those.
Yeah. You got to work in the Google Doodle team. You go work on Doodles now and fuck off. You're on the Doodle team.
Wait, how many people are on that team? Like, I don't know, there's like 300 or 400. Like, wait, you just let all of us go. It was like 50 of us.
Yeah, do you know how many people use Google? Come on. It's got to be perfect.
The Google Doodle team is absorbing all 150 members of SG&E. They're just it's just that big of a product.
Just bring them on over.
You think it's that easy making doodles every day? No. We got 365 doodles a day. All right. Okay, so we have, let's see, something from NVIDIA, and it's something. I'm not giving them props. NVIDIA has come out saying that they've nerfed crypto mining capabilities on a new line of their new line of GPUs, the 3060s, I believe. So usually they release 70 series and 80 series cards, and then later their low budget version of the 30 series cards is the 60s, and so the 3060 apparently has some sort of limiter in it that makes it 50% less effective at crypto mining.
At mining, yeah. Look, I like that they're trying something.
Yeah.
They're also releasing cards they're still releasing good mining cards because it's still business, right? People are buying them. But as you mentioned, JD, when I brought this story up, people are going to find a way around it. And I just read a story like today that said the price for these GPUs, these 3060s that they're going to release, they've already gone up and they haven't even released them yet. The prices have gone up pre-release because it doesn't matter. They're going to be in high demand, so bots are going to be buying them, and you're going to have to buy it from a reseller for $500 more than they are putting it for, than market.
You have 5+ years of backed up demand at this point on these cards. And no joke, like we have been in a GPU shortage for half a decade now, ever since the 20 series cards came out. Maybe before then, but I don't know. Were there shortages on the 10s?
Like briefly for like a month or two after they were released.
Yeah, like
the 1080s got crazy.
But that was about it. The 20 series cards were never accessible, and those came out like 4 or 5 years ago. So we have a backup of demand that stretches back till before the Trump administration. Like that's how far back this shit is. So any that they release, like you said, are going to be in incredible demand. The other thing is that if it feels like NVIDIA is just doing the bare minimum here, and just kind of like throwing crumbs to gamers, like, oh, we're making them more for you guys, like, and then we're making special card things for miners, it's because they don't really care. Here's the thing. Would you say that NVIDIA, with all this shit, has suffered a reputational hit? Do you think people are going to deliberately not buy NVIDIA cards if they eventually, if you put a screen in front of them that said 3070 $500, that they would be like, no, I'm not going to get that out of principle because they were making cards for Bitcoin miners? No one cares. No. So they've suffered no reputational hit among gamers, their core audience. They don't care, and their cards are more popular than ever. They are selling. They're jumping off.
Well, no one cares, but there's also not any alternatives. Like, there's 2 companies that make graphics cards.
Yep,
that's it.
And that's what's been insane to me is that with this 5-6 years, nobody has stepped up. There have been
the barrier to entry is going to be so hard because I would argue that NVIDIA's so their stock price does not shoot up every time they release a new line of cards. It goes up a little bit, but you know what made their stock price go up in the last 5 years was them landing big clients as where they're putting their hardware into someone else's product. So yeah, the barrier to entry is wildly hard to break because you could probably make a GPU, right? I don't know what goes into that, but someone could do it. But that's not where all of the money is. The money is getting into other people's products, getting those huge contracts that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what makes stock price go up. So yeah, they're throwing crumbs to gamers, which for me, I'm like, hey, at least they're maybe recognizing a problem and trying something.
Yeah, it's
but
something.
It's not going to matter because the real problem is that even if it came out at an affordable price and only gamers could get it, you had to verify that you were going to play it for video games. It doesn't matter. Scalpers will get all of them.
What's a normal price for a video card now, by the way? Because it's been so long. I don't know, what is a realistic price to pay for one?
Genuinely, you cannot get one. Like, the short answer is, like, you're not getting one.
Oh, I know I'm not getting one. I'm just like, what is the actual retail price it's supposed to be? Is it like $300?
If
I think they're like
one,
$5.
I'm looking at the 2070 Supers, which is what I got on my which I got in that weird Goldilocks zone right before they spiked, because I thought right after they announced the 30 series cards, I was like, oh, cool. And then everyone was dumping their 20 series and no one was buying the new 20 series. So I went and got a 2070 Super for like $500. Dog. I've seen 2070 Supers for $1,400, $1,000, $850, but it's out of stock. Most of these are just in machines. Yeah, it's like they're all $800 and out of stock. That is average.
Here's my frustration with all of this. I have a 2070 Super in my laptop. And I have a nice desktop aside from my video card, and I'm never going to be able to upgrade it. So I guess I'm just playing on my laptop forever now.
You're a laptop gamer now.
Awesome.
You are a laptop gamer. That is, dude, it's just so weird. But yeah, bravo for something. Peterson, do this next one because you have positive things to say, and I don't.
Okay. So we give Amazon Game Studios a lot of crap, deservedly. They earn every piece of crap we throw at them.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I guess I'll hold my throw for just a minute here. I won't throw the crap at them right now. I'll wait till next week. But Amazon did a move that they should have done from this, like something they should be doing. So they're listening to somebody for once. So they're making this game, New World, which is a mess, right? We talked about this, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Just an absolute mess of a game conceptually. But they have now delayed New World again so they can add more and more meaningful endgame content, which is what you need if you even want a chance to survive in a game like this.
And even with it, you're not going to survive anyway.
Ask any of them, though. Like, ask Anthem, ask Division. When the Division 1 launched, people hit Endgame so fast, and then they were really bored.
Yeah.
That's all of them. Destiny had the same problem. All of these games as a service games, they come out, and the real problem is that what happens when I get to Endgame and I'm supposed to do the whole loot grind, and there's like 4 pieces of loot that I need to grind for, and a week later I've got all of it, and now I'm done with the game. And so they made a good decision for once, delaying their game so they could add more endgame content. Now, am I confident it's going to be good? No, 0%. But my kudos is solely based on the fact that they're listening to somebody who knows what they're talking about for what seems to be the first time since Amazon Game Studios' inception.
They just are like, why don't we try it? Let's just listen to them for once. Let's just see what the smart nerds have to say for once.
Here's the problem, though. They're trying to make an MMO, and there's a reason Warcraft is the only... Well, Warcraft and Final Fantasy are the only MMOs that really have any strong place in the market, and it's not because they're amazing games. It's because Warcraft has 16 years of endgame content behind it. And so when you compare the value of playing a game like that and what your investment into a game like that is going to give you in return versus a game like New World, you're never going to be able to compete with something like that. It's why everything new that comes out just keeps failing. You can't make enough content to compete.
Yeah, it'll take you. You're gonna have to delay your game by 8 years to add all that content. You're just not going to do it. So but I will give them kudos for trying and listening to somebody who's actually played video games before.
Right. Yeah. Hey, you take what we can get. Okay, let's do this in Nintendo. We had another thing. So we had Blizzconline, and we had Nintendo Direct, which is Nintendo's online conference. So a couple things. I'll just skim through this. You guys grab me if you want me to stop. Splatoon 3 was announced, which is the game where you run around and throw paint on your map, and the whole idea is whoever's team has more paint down on the ground wins.
Have you guys played Splatoon 2?
I played the first one. That's it.
I think I played 2, but not the first one.
I haven't.
It's pretty fun. I mean,
I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem like interesting to me. But
no,
I've only
no
heard
one's
good
dying.
things.
No one really dies necessarily.
I'm out.
Blood, so there's no guns. Outer Wilds. You guys know I love this game. This is that freaky space story. I don't even know, action adventure. I don't know what it would be called. Outer Wilds is going to be on the Switch, which is a perfect game for the Switch, I think, because I'd feel less terrified if it was a little tiny screen in my hands, I think. Star Wars Hunters. This is nothing. We have nothing on this other than
what is this?
A very vague teaser
that didn't have anything. It's Star Wars Battle Royale. It's a Star Wars Royale game. It's going to probably look like Fortnite, judging from the splash screen. So we're looking at a cartoony Star Wars Battle Royale. I don't know. Might be tight. Who cares? It's Star Wars. Apex Legends is coming to Switch, which is cool. That will have cross-platform play, so enjoy getting destroyed by people on PC. Yeah. And finally, Mario Golf. I know you two, Dorcas, Lorcases love this shit.
I'm so excited for
no
this.
one
I've
cares
been waiting for Mario Golf
Mario
for
Golf
so long. Oh,
knock it off!
Dude,
Mario
you
Golf
haven't
is
experienced
fun.
Mario until you've Mario Golfed.
Peak Mario is when he's wearing a polo shirt, swinging a club.
One of those weird beanie caps that like hangs off the side. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, Nintendo Direct was pretty boring.
Wait. There's one more. There's one more, which is the one that pisses me off the most. It is the Skyward Sword remake. That was Nintendo's big thing that they announced for the 35-year anniversary of Zelda. So here's my hang up with it. I'll go really quick on this one. Skyward Sword was the Zelda that was two Zeldas ago. And it was on the Wii. And if you didn't know this about the Wii, all the games were actually in HD. The Wii just couldn't play it in HD. So if you got an emulator on your computer, you could upscale them up. So this is not even, they haven't done anything with it. They've just taken the native game, ported it over to Switch, re-released it, and it's $60 now. And the controls are maybe a bit better. That's it.
60?
The
Full price. The Nintendo remake.
No way. Okay, 60 seems wild.
Yeah, it was
dude,
50, I think, when it released
they're
on the
sell
Switch.
millions.
So it's more than the original.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
they're gonna sell 8 million copies in the first week.
Yep. And they're gonna get rewarded, and they're gonna do it all over again. Okay, this is another thing. This is shout out to LL Whoops on Discord for sending us this one. There is a live action Twisted Metal series.
I don't even know what to do with this.
I have not, dude. Today was the first. I was today years old when I learned that Twisted Metal has lore. Honest to God, had no fucking idea that a game where you drive around in an ice cream truck with a flaming skull bobbleheading on the top of it, that game has a story.
Well, I seem to remember you reporting to like a crime lord, right? So isn't it like some criminal underground that's participating in this stuff? Does anyone else play Twisted Metal?
Listen, all I remember about this game is the ice cream truck and slamming into other cars. That is it.
Well, Peterson, did you see who who's going to be the writer and producer on this?
No. I'm looking at
the guy who did Cobra Kai. So you're in.
Dude, it's going to be good then.
And people think that Will Arnett, because his company's producing it, think Will Arnett's going to voice Sweet Tooth, which is the clown
the ice cream truck
mask wearing guy. Guys, if you told me this was a movie, I'd be like, all right, this is going to be an interesting romp. You tell me this is a TV series, I'm like, what are you fucking
I don't
smoking?
even know what to
and
do
can
with
you
that.
pass that shit? Because it's obviously great.
Of all the IPs to choose, like,
Twisted
this
Metal?
had to have been their 30th choice. Everyone else
it's
turned them
dead.
down.
Twisted Metal, the last game came out in like 2012
On the PS2 or something.
and like it is done. Like it is not a series that's like has a lot of latest one was 2015, so it's been 6 years since the Twisted Metal game. The studio that made it, Eat Sleep Play, I believe, is done. Like they don't exist anymore. So I don't even
they
know
were
who
confused
owns
by
this.
this, I think.
Yeah, it's so weird. There's a trillion billion
Dude,
video
I
games
can't.
out there. We're not going to get a BioShock because you can't even argue that like, oh, it's going to be a low budget thing because it's an easy game to make. Are you kidding me? It's a flaming like a fucking ice cream truck car that shoots rockets and turns into a running robot mech. What? I can't. Guys, I can't with this. This is
Here's the thing.
so wild.
Because it sounds so ridiculous, you
It's
know
gotta
this is
work.
going to be amazing.
It's gotta work. I have only
gonna-
the highest expectations for this shit. And if it does work, what are we gonna get next? What is the wildest off fucking hand random ass gaming IP you can think of that's just gonna get a live action series? Because I can't
Bubble
even.
Bobble. It's Bubble Bobble. We're getting
Bubble
the Bubble
Bobble
Bobble
live action
baby.
TV
No,
show.
it'd be like Prey 2. Like we're doing a Prey 2
Wait,
TV series, and you're like, what?
no, because they're
And some
doing-
guy in the back's like, oh shit, Prey 2!
Wait, they say Prey 2?
They
Wait,
said
did
Prey
they
2!
say Prey 2?
Oh, it's gonna be Prey 2!
No, it's gonna be like
I want to see
what
like
is-
a beautiful Katamari TV show.
Oh, that's a good one. I would watch that TV series. Live action only, though. I
Killer
wanna see people
Instinct or
crushed.
something. Killer Instinct, something random, like because they're like, well, they're doing Mortal Kombat. So what other fighting game can we bring back?
Fur Fighters. That sounds like a good
Oh,
one.
Trent, don't make me sad about a Fur Fighters game coming back. Let's move on. I just got way sad, and it's crushing me. So the last thing I threw on here last minute that I think is so dope, I just came across this story. Microsoft is apparently launching an accessibility testing platform. Accessibility is a field of study that involves making softwares and other tools like that available to all peoples, regardless of any disability. And that's a very broad spectrum, by the way, because I would technically qualify for accessibility stuff because I'm colorblind, so accessibility applies to me, so it's kind of something that's very interesting to me. And this is it's called the Xbox Accessibility Guidelines. These were released in January last year. But yeah, they're going to have a testing platform, so you can just, if you follow these guidelines that they've laid out to make your game accessible, that you can send it in to Xbox or to Microsoft, and they'll test it with people with these disabilities. Every test pass includes members of the gaming and disability community to not only run test cases against games, but to provide their feedback and insights as well. Dude, this is so cool. This is the neatest thing. Data from the ESA Foundation revealed that there are nearly 46 million gamers with disabilities in the U.S. alone. 46.
Like there is a market, right? There is a market there.
Yeah.
And Microsoft is notably good at doing accessibility things for their platforms. A year or two ago, they had a new controller that they released, if you remember that. They do this. They pay attention to this, which I do think is really cool. And this testing thing is fantastic because that's what you need to do, right? You don't need to have people who do not have the certain disability you're making something for assume what will work. You need to have people testing it and giving you the feedback on what actually works.
Yep.
And I mean, this is how you make progress in this sort of field.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing the right thing.
And they're
again,
a big
they don't
studio.
have to do this.
No.
Right? This is not something they have to do. There's a market there, but a lot of these people would a lot of companies could just say, well, if they want to play, they can find a way, right? But Microsoft is saying, well, let's make it easier for everyone to play.
And
they don't have to do this.
I mean, they're blazing a trail here with their resources and their money. Indie studios are going to struggle with accessibility and baking accessibility into their game. It's just how it is. But if you have a company as large as Microsoft that is like setting industry standards for these types of things, you have a much better shot of getting that in all games, which is just cool because we should have everyone playing games.
Color blindness is the perfect example. Indie games, 7-8 years ago, you would never see it in an indie game.
Now I expect it almost.
Now you see it because it's been done so much that, to the point where it's got to be easier to do, right? Because we've got standards, we've got guidelines, we've got benchmarks, right? And so if they, like you said, if they continue to do this for all sorts of disabilities, then it's just got to be easier to do the more common it becomes. Someone's going to make a tool that makes it easier to do.
Yep. And they can build off of this. So it's super cool.
I think this is real positive. And on a positive note.
Yeah, so this will take us into our kudos.
Kudos.
All right, kudos is our positivity segment. We're just giving some kudos to Microsoft, so let's keep that kudos train rolling. You guys, I found this new show on Hulu called The Great North. There's like 4 episodes now that just started airing like a couple weeks ago. It's got Nick Offerman stars in it. It's got Will Forte does one of the voices, a couple other voices you'd probably recognize, that kind of crew.
The Great North?
The Great North, yeah. It's the guys that did Bob's Burgers, so it looks just like how Futurama looks exactly like The Simpsons. This looks exactly like Bob's Burgers, exact same animation style. The characters don't have chins, for example. It's kind of funny. And dude, here's the thing. I'll give you a fair warning. The intro song, the theme song, is abysmal. It's almost like they were trying to. It's not even enjoyable as like it's so bad it's good. It's so horrible. And now Jenna mocks me because it gets stuck in my head because I hate it so bad. I almost didn't watch the show, but it's so good, you guys. It's about this. It's a family sitcom, classic, whatever animated shows. They're all family sitcoms, but it's set in Alaska. So I'm a sucker for it. Nick Offerman is a recently divorced dad whose wife left him and he's watching his 3 kids. For example, like, and Nick Offerman's the dad. He's told all the kids that their mom has died, but they all know that she ran off with some guy to like Pittsburgh or something. But Nick Offerman refuses to acknowledge it. It's a lot of absurdist comedy. I think if you liked Bob's Burgers, you're going to be an auto in on this one. I did not particularly care for Bob's Burgers, and I'm over it.
Really?
It was okay. It wasn't my favorite.
It was good enough to watch.
It was good enough to watch. This is great. This is really, really funny. There's a lot of laugh out loud moments and shit that happens that's really funny. So,
all right, I'm in.
The Great North on Hulu. It's also airing on Fox right now. Another one on Hulu. This one was on my list for the longest time. Finally got around to watching. This is an Icelandic-Ukrainian film called Woman at War.
Okay.
It is amazing. The best movie I have seen in like a year or more. It's this woman who is a singing teacher by day, environmental activist / eco-terrorist by night. She's basically waging a single woman war with the heavy metal industry in Iceland. So, for example, and this happens in the first scene and it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. You see her just walking, and Iceland, what it looks like. It's that Game of Thrones shit, just like barren nothingness for fucking ever. So she's walking through this like peat moss landscape forever. She comes across power lines, and she pulls out a recursive bow, and she fixes this arrow up to a wire, and it's like this gorgeous Wes Anderson style shot, and she shoots it. It goes over these 3 lines, lands on the other side. Then she patiently walks over there with rubber gloves and pulls it. And you see that it's now the line she shot is attached to a far heavier steel line. She's pulling this cable, and it's like sparking massively. And she pulls it eventually across all 3 cables, and it causes a power outage, which affects the factory downtown. And then she runs like a fucking video game, like the scariest video game ever. She's running from a helicopter that's chasing her through Iceland, and there's nowhere to hide, so she's like climbing under the moss and stuff.
There's like no trees.
Yeah, there's nothing. And like this is how it starts, guys. And then it's basically just kind of her story, and it's all in Icelandic, so you have to read most of it.
Is it a comedy?
It is. It is a comedy.
It says it's a comedy.
It's absolutely funny. It's very Wes Anderson. Honest to God, the funniest, craziest thing is there's a folk music trio that does the soundtrack, and guys, they're just in the scenes. Sometimes the trio, the dude playing the drums and the guy playing the different instruments, they're all just there in the background, and she like acknowledges them. Like she's like walking, like I told you that scene where she's walking, like she walks past them and they're just playing their instruments. That's the soundtrack, and she's walking with it. At one point, the guy who plays the piano in the threesome walks in her apartment like during a scene to sit down and like play the music for the scene for her, and she's like, she gives him a nod, like, yeah, play that one song.
She's got her own like personal background music.
So it's definitely very self-aware. Jodie Foster bought the rights. She's going to make an American version with herself in it, and I don't want them to, because it's just got like, it's that foreign film magic that you get every once in a while when someone's like, oh, you have to watch this foreign film, and you're like, oh, okay, you fucking pretentious jackass, I'll watch it. But this one delivers. It's so good. The action's awesome. The political stuff is really cool. It's like the way it approaches like the environmental aspects really neat. But the cinematography, the music, the confident style of this film, it just stays with you. So check it out on Hulu. It's called Woman at War. Put your phone down. You will have to read it. You will not be able to follow it.
Okay.
And then this last one, Trent, did you get this chicken sandwich yet from Wendy's?
I have not gotten it yet.
Okay,
but I've heard about it from all of you guys.
We'll save it. No, we're not going to do it. Okay, let's move on to do this next thing that was very important.
Oh my God, the first impression rose.
All right, first impression rose.
By the way, can I just say that makes me so sad, because the new episode of Bachelor is airing like right now, and I wish I was watching it. That's how good this season is.
I love you guys, but I would 100% rather be watching Bachelor than be right here with you guys right now. Are you kidding me?
We just end it right now. Or we could just like live stream The Bachelor. Let's just turn it on, and we can just...
Guys, we can catch the rose ceremony at the end.
We can still catch the rose ceremony.
I thought the rose ceremony was at the beginning.
Oh yeah, this week they started. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, first impression rose is obviously something that we just needed an excuse to talk about The Bachelor for. But Peterson,
it's shocking to me that we don't talk about it more, because the three of us all watch it
obsessively.
And like we talk about it in our Discord chats
more than video games. Easy.
So yeah,
dude, and I'm more invested this season than I have been in a long time.
Oh, by far.
This season is so good. If you guys are looking to get into a season of The Bachelor, now this year is it. Okay, so Peterson and I have been playing a game that we wanted to give a first impression rose to, and it's called Valheim. You guys might have seen this. This is that indie game we mentioned last week. Got a lot of buzz for selling 2 million copies in as many weeks for $20 as an indie title, which is really, really impressive. Yep. And it is a Viking. It's like a set in a Viking Nordic world, Valheim type shit. Or what is it? What is that? What is it? Valhalla type of deal?
Yeah, well, you are. I think they say you're the 10th world. You're the forgotten world, and now you're down there because you can see the world tree. If you look up in the sky, you see the roots of the world tree. It's right there. So yeah, it's definitely takes place in a Nordic setting.
And I never played Minecraft, but from what I understand, it's kind of Minecrafty. You are crafting tools that allow you to build things, that allow you to craft more tools, that allow you to build more things, and then you're crafting more things that allow you
to
fight better things.
Yeah.
And then it's just this kind of loop of just kind of...
It's like Minecraft meets Ark, and then you put it into a Nordic setting. That's what this feels like, but it's way more fun than Ark, because I didn't like Ark at all.
Dude, so I played it a little bit, and Peterson and I had a million crossed wires and could not get on together to play it for the longest time. But we finally got on to play it together, and it was like 10:30 at night or something. And guys, we were up for like until 2:30. That intro
The intro was inspired by
really
a real
happened.
thing. JD, I was like, yeah, I think we need to go to bed. And JD's like,
We just slept.
no, I'm in bed. I'm in bed right now. And I said, no, JD, it's 2:00 in the morning. I need to go to bed.
Oh, because I built Peterson and my beds right next to each other in the game so we can cuddle. Because you got to stay warm. It's cold outside. It keeps telling you how cold it is.
Guys, it's so cold. Every time you leave the hut.
And I know Peterson's a cuddler. I just know that about him. So, Valheim, I was really, really hoping Peterson would like it because I started playing it and I loved how much of a sandbox it is, which I'll get into later. But Peterson and I started playing it. I was so over the moon that you liked it, but I think it's also a testament to how good it is. That you got hooked in your very first game. We played like 4 hours, and I feel like you're pretty hooked to it, more than Grounded. And Grounded.
So when you said Peterson wouldn't play with me, you just meant because it was hard to find time. I thought you were telling me he didn't like it.
No. I played for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes on my own, maybe. And then, so I'm sucked into Conqueror's Blade. Full disclosure, I cannot stop playing
so
it.
addicted.
And so JD was like, JD was trying to get me to play, and then I wouldn't be on, or I'd go to bed, or I'd be playing Conqueror's Blade. And so finally we hopped into play, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And dude, within the first 10 minutes, I was like, I can't stop. And JD's, giving me hints, which is helpful for me because I'm not trying to start from scratch and figure.
You got set up for success for sure.
But oh my gosh. And then we would just find something like, oh, we got to do this. And then we find something else and be like, well, we got to do that. And I keep thinking about it. I want to jump back in and play some more.
You got to carve out time because I feel like we're going to get deep into it. The game is oddly addictive. I kept comparing it to Grounded, which is the only other game similar to this that I've played. But it excelled in every way over Grounded. Grounded was really fun, had a lot going for it, but this game seemed immediately more accessible to me. The world was more engaging, oddly enough, because even though Grounded was essentially a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids simulator, I got more into Valheim.
Well, I think it's better. I think they're more thoughtful about what they put into the game. So one thing that this game does that a lot of these survival types of games don't do is they have different zones that have different difficulty. So if I'm low level and I have crappy gear and I'm not doing well, I just stay in the first area, the meadow, and I can kill the boars. I can kill the little goblin guys, right? I can kill all the things in there really easily. And then you want to step it up, you go into the dark forest and the guys are harder, bigger, more, right? But if that's too much and you're not ready for that, you can step right on out and go right back into the meadow and you don't have to fight any of those guys, right? And so that's one thing that they do well. Ark, for example, was not accessible to me. Every time I tried to play Ark,
murked.
I would spawn in. It would be nighttime. I'd be in my undies. I'd pick a rock up off the ground,
Cold,
and a velociraptor would kill me.
Yep, cold.
And I'm like, what? Well, I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this. And then I'd respawn, and then I'm surrounded by, I don't know, some other large dinosaurs that just like, oh, what are you doing here? And then they stomp me to death. And that's every time I've played Ark, that's what's happened. That is not Valheim. Valheim, there's some magic to it. Something they did so well. The accessibility of it, plus the skill leveling is really wonderful. It makes you could be running around and feel like you're making progress. You could be doing nothing and feel like you're making progress on your character. It's forgiving in the sense that if you die, you can just go get all your stuff back. I died like 4 times. And so I had 4 different bodies of stuff that I could pick up, and they were all there, right? I can just go get my stuff back. So I don't know. There's some magic to this game because there's a lot. It's not novel. It's not a new genre.
There's nothing necessarily new that this game is bringing to the table, but it's doing everything so well,
right?
and like confidently.
Mhm.
It just seems, for me, it was more of a sandbox builder than I've ever played. The fact that you could destroy the ground, build it back up, just really, really play with. It was. I kept asking myself, I wonder if I could do this. Ooh, I wonder if I could build a canal and like boat across this island. And I got on Reddit, and guess what? Someone built a huge canal. And I was like, dang, this is so wild. Like, there really is very little limitations to what you can do. And considering all that people have done already in just a matter of weeks, and the game is just getting started. Peterson, I don't know if you've been on the subreddit at all. Apparently there's a cart.
No.
Like, the character can like drag a cart full of goodies, and already people are posting on the subreddit like, oh, you should be able to have a build table like around the cart with whatever's in the cart, and things that are like these quality of life improvements they're talking about that of course are going to get implemented. The game is so new, isn't it? Technically early access still.
I think it might be full release.
Is it a full release at this point? If it's a full release, then that's awesome. But I still think that absolutely a game that they're going to want to sell more, because the thing about this game that really is
it's early access.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. This game's not even full release yet. It's going to sell 1 billion copies more before they get to a full release, and all those people and all of those suggestions and testers, essentially, they're paying to be testers of this game, are going to take it to a place where it is just mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't wait. There's already mods. So, for example, like, you can only build with the things in your inventory, your personal inventory. There's already a mod that allows you to build with anything in any crate around you. And so somebody gets on the subreddit and says, wouldn't it be nice if we had this? Somebody links them. Oh, there's already a mod for that. Dude, this game's going to just be gangbusters, and it's already so good. So
it seems like it'll be around for a while.
It's going to be, and it's going to, of those 2 million people, they're going to hook
3 million now. Actually, I just looked at, when I was looking at their page, it said on the 19th they hit 3 million.
They're going to hook 50 to 100,000 people that will be diehard with this game. When you look at the Steam charts, when you look at Twitch, there will always be that base now, because when you have that many initial buy-in and the game comes out this strong, you've got lifers. Fallout 76 has lifers, and it came out a pile of shit. No Man's Sky has lifers, and it came out a pile of shit. Like, this game came out just like a gold-plated record, and it's still so good.
It's $20, guys.
It's $20, guys. Valheim.
That's how you sell 3 million copies. You don't make it $50.
You do what you're good at.
You make it fun. You make some progress.
Guys, you look up in this game. The world tree looks straight out of like Skyrim on like very high resolution. Just like with everything going. But you look at a tree and it's pixelated like it's straight out of Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. They do what they do well in this game, and they know what they can do well, and they don't do anything else. It's incredible. So, you guys, we actually have a server. It's called Pittsburgh. I don't know if you can get in. It's 1T, not 2T. We're trying to build it up, so because you can have up to 10 people, and I would love it if our listeners were just jumping in, building ship, doing whatever, building outposts or forts or whatever. So if you guys want to, we're playing Valheim. We're always on Discord. Valheim's awesome. First impression Rose killed it.
Yeah,
and then we have to do some JD asks. JD asks.
JD asks.
JD asks.
JD asks?
JD's ass. I don't know, guys. We're going with JD ass. JD's ass. Okay, JD asks is when I just ask a question. I got a good question based on Peterson and my Valheim experience this week. And I know Trent has been down this road, though not recently. Definitely not since having a child. But this week, JD wants to ask, what makes a good 2:30 a.m. game? What makes a game that you could just stay up way too damn late, way later than you intended to or would ever admit you did, what is that game? And what makes it?
What are
makes
the elements of
Yeah.
that? Why are you sucked in? And next thing you know, it's 2:30 in the morning.
And you're like, okay, well, my early morning meetings, I'm just going to kind of keep my camera off.
And my audio off because I'm snoring.
And my audio off because I'm going to be snoozing.
All right, Trent, we know you've done this before. What
I mean,
sucks
I've
you
done
in?
it recently, just not. I would just say instead of 2:30 a.m., my new 2:30 a.m. is like 10:30 p.m.
Oh,
It's like 8
You
o'clock.
rebel.
The baby's asleep. We got like
Late
2.5
bedtime.
hours before we pass out. Let's go. No. So for me, it's my qualifications are it's got to be a really addicting gameplay loop that's not too hard. Easy enough to pick up, but it also is evolving enough to keep it interesting. So for me lately, that game has been, I just introduced Annie to Portal 2 last week. And so every time...
You playing it together?
sick.
Yeah, we're playing it
That's
together.
awesome.
We were just each on our own computer playing co-op. And so it's just that,
Nice.
it starts out, that first level's so easy, but each level adds just enough for you to think like, okay, I can solve this now, but what's the next puzzle going to be like? What are they going to throw at me next? What's it going to change? And it's not the same thing over and over. It's the same thing over and over with one little added thing. So it never gets too hard too fast. And I think that for me is like the perfect gameplay loop to just not be able to stop.
Dude, you just described basically all of my bullet points succinctly with like one example. I said that it's when a game is not just one more thing, but things define when you're doing that one more thing. So it's not just like, oh, just one more thing, but it's like the one more thing leads to another thing and then another thing. And then there's just this endless reward loop that keeps that drip, 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 drip where you're like, oh, just one more thing. Because it's not a huge thing to overcome, because then if you realize how big it is, you're like, I'm not going to, what time is it? Do we have time to do this? But if it's easy enough.
It's just 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and we'll see over this next little
I can
hill,
just
and we'll
do that
see
real
what's
quick.
there.
Yeah. It's similar for me. It's that it's rewarding discovery because JD, I love to run around and find stuff in these games. So we've played Grounded,
I'm
we
with
played
you.
Valheim, and I'm just like, I gotta go run around and find stuff. And when that discovery is rewarded, it makes it very hard for me to not want to continue. So that's one piece. The other thing, though, is that continuous progression, or there's a goal. If I have a goal of something I want to do. So, again, I've been doing this with Conqueror's Blade. We jumped in this game after it's been going for a little while, so I have so much stuff to do. There's already a million things you can do, but there's missions you need to accomplish to unlock this character or this skin on this character or this troop that you already own. And there's just always that one more little thing. They put that breadcrumb out there, and it's just close enough to where I'm like, oh, I'll just do that. Let me just do this real quick. And next thing you know, it's 1:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rubbing my eyes, and I'm like, I
got
don't
another hour.
want to stop, but I have a meeting at 7:30. I have to be up in like 5 hours and ready to go. So it's just that trail of breadcrumbs when games can do that well enough, and not to like I'd say not to a point where it's it feels predatory, but like where they just have all that stuff there that you can do. I want to keep going. I want to keep doing it. I want to kill that one more monster. I want to go. I got to clear this one more area. I found a dungeon I want to do really quickly. I'm so close to leveling this up. Let me just do that before I go. Oh, I have one goal. I was thinking like Civilization type of games. Let me just take a couple more turns because then I'll have done this one thing that I've been trying to do for a little while now, right? It's that one more turn, one more thing, one more dungeon, one more, level, that sort of thing. That's what gets me to 2 a.m.
But I think for sure the thing you nailed is there has to be progression of some sort.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I could never, like a MOBA or a Battle Royale game or any of those, I could never play those till 2 a.m. because it's just too much of the same.
Yeah.
I used to be able to, though. Like, I could do Call of Duty matches just over and over again because they were like, 4 or 5 minutes at most. And you could just be like, damn it, I died a bunch. Or you did really well and you're like, I want to get another kill streak. And I could pound through those. I think the arcadey shooters I can do a bunch. But yeah, a battle royale that can go upwards to an hour, a MOBA that can go upwards of an hour. Fuck that. No, that is not going to keep me coming back. That does make me think of one that I wrote down that I think, Trent, you'll definitely, I think this applies to all of us. I would like to know, for me, it is the difference between a 1:30 game, which is generally when I tap out, and a 2:30 game is being on with people. I will play a game if everyone is down. Peterson, that last night, Saturday night, when you're like, it's 2:30, if you would have been like one more hour, I would have been like, shit, yeah.
All right, I'm in.
If you had been like, let's all-nighter, I would have been like, shit, yeah.
All right.
If people are, I am like openly accepting to all and any peer pressure on this. Like
100%. I think back to when we did League Night, I felt like it was always just who was going to tap out first. Like no one wanted to be the first person to say that they had to go to bed.
Dude, just one more game.
Oh, I just want to be on forever. Yeah, especially now. It's like the only actually interaction I get with friends and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll take as much as I can get. I don't even care how late I have to stay up. I'm here for it.
I would say a game that I played that did this poorly recently was Red Dead Online.
No loop.
So the problem was, there was progression that was to be made, but it was so slow that you didn't feel that, let's just do one more thing. It was more like, okay, I've had enough. You know what I mean? I don't want to do the grind anymore because they're grinding you too hard.
Like, it's going to take a few hours to hit that next milestone, not a few minutes.
No. It's going to take a few weeks
Nope.
of playing every day.
I wouldn't even play it the next day. That's just
that's the stuff that makes you drop out when that's why I'm saying they're purposefully being predatory, because either you can pay for it or they want you on their game forever, and they don't earn that, right? You earn that by giving me stuff, giving me progress. I earn so much stuff in Conqueror's Blade still. Like every time I get a fight, I've got a new thing in my inventory to open or something. Like I've got so much stuff all the time. They're just always giving you currencies and things and chests, and where I'm like, cool, I'll play another one. I might get a chest again.
Dude,
or I might get,
the gold standard of that, the absolute fucking gold standard of that is in Valheim, which is you get upgraded everything. Your run, your jump, your stamina, your swing, your combat, your blocking, your bow and arrow skills. All of these things have a ranking 0 to 99 and swimming, and you start leveling them the second you start the game. And it just happens by just playing the game, just doing the normal stuff. You get a little ding. Oh, you're running upgraded to 25. Oh, ding. Your jump upgraded to 13. I am getting rewarded just randomly. I just jump over a rock and I get rewarded. I'm like, this is like cocaine to me.
I'll never stop jumping.
Oh, just keep doing it. This is the greatest thing ever. Oh my God. Yes. It is. Oh, it's so addicting. So yeah, those are the endless rewards, leveling things, give me things to level. That's all I want.
Give it to me.
Okay, Peterson, what do you think? You want to do one rundown or you want to call it? I'm down to call it. It's your call.
Let's call it. Yeah, let's call it. We'll save our rundowns.
We have a bunch of games to review, you guys. We have been playing a shit ton of new games. Just to tease, we've got reviews for Destroy All Humans, Injustice 2, Red Dead Online, and South Park: The Stick of Truth. Sneaky surprise there.
And there will be more by next week, I'm telling you.
Yeah, so we got a ton of reviews we want to drop, but we don't want to go too long, and we'll get to them next week. In the meantime, we'll switch over to Dice so Peterson can apologize to everyone.
Dice of Destiny. Okay, listen, guys, I gotta take a mulligan this week, and I need to give a I need to do a mea culpa to JD because JD was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna play," and I was like, "I'll play Gloomhaven.
I'll play it.
This is last episode. Oh, I'll play it. No," and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think you will. You're not gonna finish it off." Guys, okay.
Sometimes I start to sound like Morty.
Oh, you're not gonna finish it. You'll never finish it, Peterson. You suck too bad.
You suck, man. Oh, you suck at playing in this game.
And here's the thing, JD's kind of right because I didn't play it, but the reason I didn't play it was because, and I got to be honest, guys, I just forgot. I've been playing so many new games now that I got to Sunday and I was like, oh yeah, I think I was supposed to play Gloomhaven. And I went and looked and I was like, oh, I didn't even buy it yet. Oh my gosh. So I am way behind, which isn't like me. Usually by the time I've picked my Dice of Destiny game, I've already played it. I just have so many things that I'm playing right now. So apologies. I promise I will play Gloomhaven this week. There's so many things I want to play and I'm sucked into right now. I don't know how to stop.
Dude,
but I will.
It is so bad. The biggest mistake I ever made was getting Ubisoft Plus. What the hell? I'm playing a South Park game from 2014, and I can't stop. I'm playing Valheim. I'm playing everything. I got the email in my inbox. It's like, hey, Jonathan, make sure to cancel your Ubisoft Plus. It's going to be a month next week. And I just deleted that email. I was like, nah, dog, we ain't done yet. We got like 6 more Ubisoft games before we can cancel this.
Oh, and by the way, I somehow just got sucked back into RimWorld.
Oh,
and I am so sucked into
so
it.
Funny. So funny.
I don't know what's happening. I'm sucked into 3 games right now, and that is not a recipe for anything positive besides my enjoyment.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll
next week
get it together next week.
Probably not
we
next
don't
week
get sucked
either.
into Valheim.
Okay, Trent,
All right,
what?
Just being honest here, man.
You're going to have to
I
apologize
just
to
think-
Trent next week. Watch it. Careful.
Okay, Trent.
I think maybe sometime in
1,000%.
April we'll hear about Gloomhaven. But in the meantime,
1,000%.
Valheim's
I will
pretty
have
fun.
it.
There's literally
Right,
nothing that will stop me from playing Valheim. Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys. To play us out, we have the
I don't know what this is.
Just listen to it. It's from the Great North. Enjoy. I'm JD logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
This is Trent
There's
signing
a jar
out.
full of teeth. It's been sitting out all week, and I wish I knew how many teeth were in it. So I'll look at it and I'll focus, because if your guess is closest, then you get to keep the jar. That's right, you win it. And there's nothing in the world that I couldn't do with that big old batch of fangs in my life. She'd be my wife. Oh, those teeth would complete me. I would kiss each one so sweetly. Oh, how many teeth can be inside that jar?
Peterson Productions. Oh yeah.